I was thinking today something about the gang stalkers. Of course, it's Christmas Eve. I actually slept on my bed last night and I was fine. And I woke up this morning and I went back to sleep. And I'm smelling that sickly sweet smell again of some kind of incense. Like it's coming out from my mouth. I tell you, sometimes it comes from my nose. But nobody is here to smell the tissue or just get a whiff of it. I mean, to smell it is gross. But to know that something is wrong, it's coming out from in my head. How strong of a smell can this be? And every time it coincides with the back wall, it's like they're lowering some kind of incense pot. I've recorded it. But the thing is, I don't have unlimited space. And what I tend to do is I tend to delete the recordings. I delete the recordings. And that's not a good thing. Because what's the point of recording? I do the recordings just in case if something really bad happens. I can check it through, but I don't see anything. So what I do believe, this is my fervent belief, that when what I'm smelling and what I put, this menthol, I used to smell like a menthol crystal, a menthol type of, like Vicks, without the Vixy smell, barely there. It was something thick, and like a an ointment type thing. So, and I was smelling it 2 years ago. Now I'm smelling incense. I smell chlorine a lot. I smell gas. There's gas all the time. They call it microdosing. They're microdosing me. They're calling it microdosing. They're microdosing. I don't know what the fuck. My flesh feels like somebody's taken a hammer and pulverized it. All the bones, everything. Sometimes I feel like it's gonna break. This cannot be good for my bones or my bone health. It cannot be good. It just cannot be. It's deteriorating my bones. My bones are probably becoming brittle. Look at my hand. Look at sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it looks, whenever I get gassed a lot, the wrinkles come out all over. The wrinkles come out all over the wrinkles come out. My hands never looked like this. There's burning feet all over my face. These people are bad people, like really, really bad people. They're just, I tell you, the question I was asking one of them this morning, like right now, is it possible for them to be so evil, commit so many evil deeds every single day without being evil themselves? Because they like to differentiate. Well, they're not evil. They do evil things. I say that as in sarcasm. I said it 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I still say it now. Well, you're not evil. You do evil things. Because I probably heard it in a movie or something. Is it possible to do evil things so many times, for so many years, without understanding that you've become evil? How many evil deeds does it take for them to say, well, I am an evil person? You're not evil, you're not a pit of evil, but you are an evil person because you seem to think that this is okay. It's a way of life that's doable, that's sustainable, it sustains your finances, you get money for it, you get pleasure. When somebody else is in pain, the pain is caused by you, it's immense pleasure for them. Basically, they like to hurt people. People who have hurt people in history, like serial killers, they had to get some pleasure from it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be motivated to go out there, get a victim, or stalk someone, or just pick someone up at random at a bus station or something and just chop them up or rape them, or they have to get some pleasure from it. Otherwise, there's no motivation. There's no pulling towards doing that. Some of them were cannibals. Was it just the taboo of the situation? The taboo nature of cannibalism, or the act of rape, or the act of violence in any form against another human being? Something excited these motherfuckers. Nobody from a blah place will get up and just start doing that. Something have to pull them towards it. Is either you're pushed or you're pulled. They say pulled by your dreams or pushed by your fear. Pulled by your dreams of ambition. You want a better job. You want a job. You want to build your own business. You want to do whatever. Or pushed by your fear that you won't be able to pay next month's rent. It's better to be pulled by your dreams. Because when you hit an obstacle, you're not going to sit down again. Because you will give it a thought and you will understand that you want to reach somewhere. And when you want to reach somewhere, you will find doors will open up for you. For us, and this is not a cop-out, this is not something I'm saying willy-nilly. I'm a big believer in being led by your dreams. Once you put the fear down, this is what I've taught. This is what I've self-taught from videos on YouTube. A little bit here, a little bit there. My belief system is grounded in being pulled by your dreams. I learned in 2009, I learned EFT. I became a practitioner from a depressed state. I learned the Silva method. I learned Ho'oponopono. I learned the Sedona method. I learned another method as well, several of them. There's several releasing methods to release yourself from the bondage of having to be pushed by your fears and only be led by your dreams. Because once you are over there, you've got over that hurdle and you are on the other side, it's hard to come back here, and this is where they want to put me. Lazy, no ambition, wanting to hide from life, wanting to live in a state of, I'll do barely enough to get by, as Les Brown said. They do barely enough to get a paycheck, and I can't remember the saying right now, but the employees, they do just barely enough to get a paycheck, so they don't get fired. And they pay them accordingly, of course. They pay them according to their worth, minimally. So they still have a sustainable business. But my point is, I'm a big believer in this. I'm a big believer. I believe in motivation. But I've said something to the Mexican woman several times in these recordings. On this side of the street, there's the middle of the road, and then there's that side of the street. This side of the street is nothing works here. It's a dead zone. However, rent has to be paid. Bills are common. Even if you live in the jungle, you need food. You need toilet paper. You need light. It's on the other side. The doers and shakers have them. So what do? Is they will go over there and steal it. They will go over there and force them and take it. Because they still got to sustain their little non-paradise over here. Their belief system is, we're solid in this underachieving, ugly, stagnant, no motivation. The only motivation is when we got to go and steal something and come back. That's the only motivation from this side. So with that being said, then you have the middle of the road. The middle of the road is when you try to get out of it, you get to the middle, that's the neutral stance. It feels empty. It feels like basically some people will run to revert, because when you're in the middle of the road, you have all this to compare. You don't know what's over there yet. That means work. That means movement. That means shaking. That means getting from A to B. That means hitting failure after failure after failure till you get to success. You're accustomed to being here. So when you get to the middle of the road, this is going to pull you back. Make no mistake. It's going to pull you back. It's going to pull you back. Because your brain goes for what gives you the highest pleasure. Your body, your emotions, it goes for what gives you the highest pleasure. And the brain knows this set of activities gave you the highest pleasure. Because you fought to stay here for the longest time. Now, when you get to the middle of the road, most likely you will go back here. Drug addicts will tell you that. Alcoholics will tell you that. They call it relapsing. You go right back. It happens when you get to the middle of the road, you go back, then you get to the other side of the street. Some people just go straight ahead. They go from this side of the street where there's nothing happening, that dead zone, that stagnation. You go to the middle, and it's a blah. I call it a blah feeling. I've been there emotionally. I've been there. It's like an empty feeling. It's a blah feeling. Because I don't have all that mental confusion and noise going on. That angst, that push, the pull, that emotional upheaval. That was all it was for me. That emotional upheaval all day long. The chaos, my mind loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Drama, drama, trauma, drama, trauma, all day long. My mind loved it. And you went to the middle of the street, and then you went to the other side. When you get the other side, man, you're like a rock star on the other side. You're tireless on the other side. It's like your body just like it breathes. Over here, you're stagnated. In the middle, you get to the blah, and then you feel like on the other side, you exhale. Like the movie Waiting to Exhale. Because it's all nothing, it's just emotions overload. And nothing happens positive. You don't see any results. You don't see any results. Emotional overload. All day long, high emotions, and nothing gets done. So getting back to the whole thing is it possible to do evil acts one after the other, consistently, evil, and still think you're a good man who just do evil things for extra money after 4 years? That's a shitload of fucking money. That's a shitload of fucking money. For 4 years, somebody has deep pockets.